Hey, what's up, good people? How you doing? Welcome back to Stock Up with Larry Jones. I'm gonna keep this one short and to the point. Go ahead and hit that like, subscribe, notification bell. Let's just look at what's happening in the market. It has been a crazy whipsaw day of a market because of the geopolitical situation that's going on in the Middle East. Of course, we got three countries involved. We got Israel, Iran, and the US now with their strikes. All right. So here is the latest thing that just happened not too long ago. Now you have Iran actually returned fire, so to speak. It was very muted, if you ask me, to Qatar. All right. So we have a US base in Qatar with over 10,000 soldiers. Okay. And they're kind of like in hunker down position. It was almost as if they were saying, hey, we got to do this. You guys know how it is. They have to show some sort of strength to their people, right? And the attack was very muted. They don't want any beef. The truth be told, Iran don't want any serious beef with the U.S., though they have threatened sleeper cells and all of that. But I just don't think that they really want that, right? So what is it doing to the stock market? The stock market has been whipsawing up and down. It was down last night in the pre-markets. It was down this morning in the pre-markets. Then it was flat to slightly up when the market opened, right? And what happened? Then it goes up. It just pumps. Tesla pumps. The SPY pumps, the Qs pump, everything pump, NVIDIA pumps. Then you have this strike on Qatar from Iran. Then things slightly go back down. And right now we're back at session highs. And by the time you see this, it may have changed. So let's just follow this lineage. As we can see right now, we're back at session highs. We are at session highs. Look at this. This is the NASDAQ. All right. If you go to the charts, you're just going to see where it just spiked green right here. We had a crossover and then we just spiked up on the Qs, should I say. So if you look at the Qs right now, you can see that the NASDAQ absolutely just spiked. Okay, so I'm just showing you the Qs compared to the NASDAQ. So if you were playing the Qs, and this is why today was such a day not to trade, because you can literally go for a cup of water and you wiped out or you're green. Okay, and then you're down. And then you turn around and you try to get out of the position. Then you find out had you held, you would have been okay. Or if you hadn't traded at all, options, and you would have been better. So this is one of those days we don't even know how closing bell is going to be, let alone the next minute. So if you look at the SPY, you could see the Qs and the SPY did the same thing. Look at that. It literally climbed up. And then we had this huge fall off. Look at that. Just absolutely tanked, right? Then from the bottom of the SPY, I'm just trying to catch it. Then we had this spike back up a full percent on the S&P. Look at that, right? And then when you go to the SPY, you can see the same thing. Ran up, tanked, and then literally mooned back up. This is on the 5-minute. That's how fast that this market has been going. And then yesterday we were down to what, 98K. Now Bitcoin is up 103K. And I bought some more Bitcoin at 99 and 98, like I told you guys on yesterday. And I just bought more Bitcoin, holding my other positions, which was a good call for me. I didn't dip buy anything else. Could have and made a little money, but I bought in, as they say, bigly. In Bitcoin. I bought Bitcoin. So we can see Solana over the last 24 hours. Ethereum is up 5%, Bitcoin 3.47. Look at that. Solana's up 5.8. And good people, this could continue to whipsaw. I believe it will continue to whipsaw. As we look at Bitcoin now, I didn't, redo any charts. So I'm just looking at it. Bitcoin now, remember, we were bouncing off of this yesterday, this 100. We were bouncing off of it. We dipped down and now we're spiking back up. And that's why, one of the things I just said, it's just not over. All right. The truth be told, I was looking for a buying opportunity on big tech. And it never came because I got a lot of cash on the sidelines waiting to be deployed. So what I'm saying to you before the session ends is this is not a time, I believe. Remember, anything I say is not a suggestion for you to buy, hold, or sell. You got to do your own due diligence and your own research. But I just believe that this is not a time to enter into an option and just walk away. You have to monitor every single second. Now, Tom Lee had something to say this morning. I want you to give this a quick listen.
Take it this morning's action.
Well, in some ways it's not a surprise because, as you know, like Art Cashin had the adage, sell the buildup, buy the invasion. And I think today is an example of that markets were kind of already nervous and anxious, and we've already saw de-risking, and the VIX was already elevated. So I think in some ways this is probably pretty typical.
Does it change your call for the rest of the year at all? And you think it displaces any other priorities or has any effect on bill passage or how that might get constructed?
In some ways, it actually strengthens the case for stocks to do better into year-end because at the start of this year, we would have said U.S. bombing a nuclear facility is a black swan. Oil would be 120, stocks should be down 10%. And then we have the event, and oil is not really surging, and stocks are up. So I'd almost say that you've put another stress test into the market. We've seen it pass it, and I think it means stocks should do pretty well into year-end.
You think Hormuz remains a risk?
I do, but Brian Sullivan was off camera was mentioning a lot of strategic reasons why that may not be the case. I'm sure he's going to have his views, but I would say I'm watching oil, and if oil isn't surging, then I think it just means that the risk of the straits being closed is lower.
So he was talking about what I showed you yesterday, the risk of the straits where Iran, the oil comes through the little straightaway, that Iran is not going to stop the production of oil because they sell to China, right? And that's going to stop a main vein, right? So I really, there's a lot of things that's going on that's in the play, and it's all political. This war is political. This is all political. Even the president is saying now the Republican Party is as together as or united as possibly could be. And now he's touting, since we're together, let's go ahead and get this bill passed. The big, beautiful bill passed, right? And so there's things that the market does like, good people. And I'm just telling you what I see. But we don't know what the next minute or the next day is holding. But it does appear, as it stands right now, that Iran don't want no beef with the U.S. And I know some may disagree, but I'm talking about what the market is showing. But the market, 1 minute is this way and the next minute is that way. There's a saying, buy on the sound of the cannon, sell on the sound of the trumpets. So you buy on the sound of war, just like I always say, the onset of war is usually the best time to buy. And then, the trumpets is when the war is over, right? And so that's what they were saying. Unfortunately, we could not buy stocks because, just like I told you guys, these things mainly take place, not always, but mainly take place over the weekend. Okay. So we, the only thing we could participate in right away was stocks. Now we know that, Tesla had their robotaxi event. If you ask me, if you're a Tesla lover, you just goo gaga about it. But if you ask me, it was very muted, and Tesla still mooned 10% before it came back down, and it probably will close up higher. So I'm going to close by saying right now, I do not trust this market. Leave me a comment. Do you believe that the market should be up as much as it is right now, because a lot of people think not. Look at that. A lot of people say no. I just say it is too early. I was looking for a dip, for a buy, but I just don't trust this market. And as you could see, that proved me right today, because call or put, you would have lost some money had you walked away, right? Or not been patient. Okay. So what I'm doing is I'm keeping my eyes focused on big tech. I'm also keeping my eyes open on quantum computing on a down day to buy more. I seized the moment to buy more Bitcoin, holding my positions, but I froze the rest of my dollar cost averaging into crypto, waiting on the next pullback. We're coming to the end of the month, and I do believe that the market is due for a pullback. Even with the market up like this today, I believe the market is due for a pullback, from now to the end of the month. That's just what I think. Let me know what you think about it. All right. A lot of people yesterday was like, oh, we're going to crash and burn today. So in this type of market, we can't be too bearish or too bullish. Okay. All right, good people, come and join me. Check out the links below. Just check them all out. We got useful tools down there to help you make money. Money moves and stock up you. All right. We'll see you later. Live, love, laugh, and learn.